arrest your attention from the worldly static right now. Put down whatever is in your hands, close every other mental tab, and anchor your focus entirely on these words. Because a profound spiritual lock has just clicked into your energy field, and you need to feel its weight before your ego tries to logically explain it away. This transmission did not intersect with your feed by accident. In the quantum field of Allah's creation, there are no random accidents. There is only divine alignment and exact frequency matching. The undeniable fact that you are here right now proves something specific about your soul. Your spiritual shield, your Noor, is becoming completely untouchable. Not untouchable in the loud, aggressive, ego-driven way the material world uses that word. Untouchable in the way that pure divine light is untouchable. In the way that a heart anchored in absolute trust in Allah, once it reaches a certain state of coherence, cannot be disrupted by anything vibrating beneath it. Reality does not work the way the heedless masses were taught. You were told that you must frantically hunt for wisdom and search for answers. The deeper truth is that under the command of the All-Wise, divine guidance hunts you. Right now, your spiritual heart is operating at an altitude that called this exact reminder directly into your experience. You did not randomly find this. Your soul's frequency qualified for it. Take one slow, deliberate breath in through your nose right now. Hold it at the top for 3 seconds and release. What we are about to move through is not casual content. This is a transmission designed to decode exactly what is shifting in your field. Something in you has been feeling it for days, maybe weeks, a strange, undeniable sense that the ground beneath your old worldly life is dissolving. It is not collapsing, it is being systematically dissolved by Allah to replace it with a foundation built on absolute truth. You couldn't explain it to anyone around you because they are still operating in the dense, low-frequency static of the world. But you have crossed a divine threshold and there is no going back. Here is what society never tells you about stepping into your true spiritual power. It does not feel like victory at first. It feels like intense isolation. It feels like everything that used to satisfy your ego suddenly stops working. Relationships built on superficial worldly ties feel suffocating. Goals that once excited you now feel hollow, and routines that gave you structure now feel like cages. If you do not understand the mechanics of spiritual purification, you will think something is wrong with you. You will think you are breaking down. But here is the absolute truth. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through.
Your quantum field is reorganizing itself under the banner of oneness of Allah. When that happens, everything that does not match this pure frequency must fall away. It is not punishment from Allah. It is divine physics. When your frequency elevates, your environment must either rise to match it or be purged from your field entirely. You have been watching people step back and situations dissolve. That is not loss. That is your spiritual field proving what it is becoming. Quantum physics has a concept called the observer effect, which describes something that should rearrange everything you think you know about reality. The act of observation, the act of directed conscious attention changes what is being observed. When scientists examine subatomic particles, those particles exist in a state of infinite possibility until a conscious observer enters the equation. The moment awareness touches the system, the particle collapses into one specific physical reality. Translate this into your spiritual life. You are not a passive observer of your destiny. Your consciousness participates in the construction of the reality Allah decrees for you. The frequency at which your consciousness operates, your level of faith and certainty, determines which possibilities collapse into form around you. When you elevate your frequency through sincere devotion, the low vibrational interference of the world, the chaos, manipulation, and energetic drain of toxic environments can no longer find a match point in your field. It cannot attach, it cannot penetrate. Your frequency becomes its own absolute protection. Let me tell you about a woman named Mira. Mira spent the first 30 years of her life doing everything the world demanded, working hard, following worldly rules, trying to be safe, and trying to be small enough to avoid danger, but large enough to earn validation from creation. She was profoundly exhausted, not the kind of exhaustion that sleep fixes, but an energetic depletion that comes from broadcasting a fake frequency for decades because her true spiritual self felt too risky to express. One morning, Mira woke up in the dark before dawn. For the first time in years, she didn't reach for her phone or fill the silence with noise. She just lay there, and in that stillness she felt a pressure in the center of her chest that wasn't pain. It was a warmth radiating outward, a sensation like something wound very tight was finally releasing. She didn't have a framework for it, but she knew it felt like coming home. What Mira was feeling was her fitra, primordial nature, returning to its natural state. Her divine light was beginning to activate. The quantum field around her began reorganizing in response to the shift in her internal signal. You are Mira right now. The part of you broadcasting a borrowed frequency is dissolving, and your real signal is being called home to your Creator. The principle that governs this transformation is coherence. In physics, what makes a laser capable of cutting through steel is not the intensity of its photons, but their coherence, all particles vibrating in the exact same direction and frequency. Your energy field operates the same way. When your thoughts, your emotions, your secret intentions, and your external actions are perfectly aligned in truth before Allah, your scattered field becomes a laser of divine light. It becomes a blazing field of protective, creative energy.
The inverse is also true. Every time you perform a fake version of yourself, suppress your true faith to maintain a worldly image, or broadcast a signal of hypocrisy, you introduce incoherence into your field. You scatter your own light. You dim your own shield. But the moment you stop performing for the world, even just in this exact moment between you and Allah, coherence returns instantly. The field reorganizes around authenticity the way iron filings organize around a magnet. This is an active, energetic calibration. Place both hands over the center of your chest right now. Your heart generates the largest electromagnetic field in your body. Breathe in slowly and imagine a pure light in the center of your chest that has always been there, placed there by Creator. Not a light you are creating, a light you are remembering. Breathe out slowly, and with this exhale, release one layer of your worldly performance. Release the self-editing. Release the signal that isn't yours. Feel the subtle shift, the slight loosening in your chest. That is your divine light beginning to activate. When your frequency spikes to a higher level of faith, the world will push back. The principle of homeostasis governs all systems. When you shift your frequency, the dense system around you resists. This is why the moment you declare your sovereignty under Allah, everything seems to get harder, and old patterns come roaring back. The old system is testing your new frequency, asking, "Are you sure?" Every time you hold your center and refuse to collapse into heedlessness, you pass the test. The divine decree updates and reality reorganizes to support you.
Imagine an ancient lighthouse built on a rocky cliff above a violent sea. Inside lived an Elias, who had tended the light for 40 years through devastating storms. What Elias understood was that the light does not exist so he can see the sea. The light exists so those lost on the sea can see where they are. One night, a fog rolled in so thick that Elias couldn't even see his own beam. The whispers of the ego hissed in his mind. "What is the point? No one can see you. Let the fire die." But Elias refused. He kept the flame burning because tending the light was who he was. When the fog lifted at dawn, 17 ships were anchored safely in the harbor, having followed his unseen beam through the dark. You are Elias right now. You are in the fog of the world. You cannot see the impact of your faith or who is being guided by your coherence. The worldly whispers tell you to dim your light and blend back in. But I am telling you, do not let the fire of your faith die. Your Noor is reaching farther than you know. Your frequency is affecting more than you can measure. The fog is temporary. Your light is eternal. Keep it burning. Here is the ultimate integration principle. Your state of faith is more powerful than your worldly story. The narrative of your past limitations and traumas has been broadcasting a frequency that defined your reality. But that story is not more powerful than your current state of Iman. When you choose to inhabit the state of your activated divine light right now, the frequency of your state begins to reorganize the meaning of your story. The same wounds that were defining become initiating. The past that held you down becomes the foundation from which your activated shield rises. We are building a field together, a coherent network of believers anchored in Unness. Quantum physics calls this entanglement. When two fields resonate at the same frequency, they become fundamentally connected across any distance. The activation of your light strengthens the activation of every other soul in this network. We are building a high-frequency grid of consciousness that is shifting reality itself. I want you to anchor this activation into the physical dimension right now. Say these words out loud from the absolute stillness of your heart. My faith is my protection. My light is active. I am untouchable by anything that does not match the light of my Creator. Feel your field organize itself around the truth of what you just declared. If you felt that shift, go to the comments below right now and type this exact phrase, "My light is active." When you type those words, you are casting a coherence vote into the collective field of the Ummah. You are sending a signal to the quantum grid that another node of light has come online. Type it now, "My divine is active." Subscribe to this channel to anchor your frequency in this space. You are choosing coherence over chaos, and every time you make that choice, your shield brightens by another degree. You do not need to be flawlessly perfect to be unstoppable. You just need to be coherent. Even when you stumble or doubt, the fundamental direction of your energy remains pointed toward Allah. The flame might flicker, but it does not go out. Your frequency is your protection. Your authenticity is your technology. Your quantum field of light is fully activating now. Welcome to the field. You have always belonged here. You just needed to remember. To take this activation into absolute permanence, watch the video titled "Chosen One." Your heart just received a godly message. It's for you. It goes deeper into exactly how your field becomes untouchable, what it feels like when your divine light is generating a signal so strong that low-frequency interference cannot land, and how to recognize the moment your protection activates for real. Tonight.